I don't know why people continue to attempt to separate the love conversation, the love and relationship conversation from like the rest of life. And what I'm talking about is the approach, right? So very often I get the question, how can I call myself a relationship coach, a life coach that specializes in relationships and love, when I have had so many failed relationships? I've been hearing it for years now, and it's most people's perspective of a person who's single, especially as you get older. Most people's perspective of a single person is a person who can't seem to get the relationship thing right. That this person must not be good in relationships, and that's why that's why their relationships always end. So just to clarify, with the except all of my relationships, my romantic relationships that I've been in, I have been the person to walk away from those relationships, with the exception of one, and that being my ex-wife, who also, once she left, came back. So just to be clear, I have been the person who walked away from all but one of my relationships. Now, the reason that I have walked away from my relationships, with maybe the exception of a handful, maybe 2 or 3 of them, the reason has been the exact same reason in all of the relationships. I had come to the realization that we wanted 2 different things. Certain things had been discussed at the beginning of all of these relationships, before any of them were exclusive. You know, when we were in the talking phase or the dating phase, you know, I believe that I expressed very clearly what I wanted out of or in a relationship, and what I wanted to accomplish in a relationship with a woman. I believe that since I've been a teenager, that I've been very straightforward about the things that I wanted in a relationship and in a woman. And all of those things, from my perspective, had been agreed on, or at least negotiated to a degree that there was an understanding prior to becoming exclusive with that person. And then once we got involved, once we started to live life together, then, you know, life happens, things start to change, people's directions start to change, the things that they want start to change, and somebody's got to make a decision at that point. Do we keep going where we could potentially be going in different directions anyway, or do we see what's happening here early, or however long we're into it, and make a decision to part ways amicably, right? So that has been the majority of my romantic relationships. So if I was to say 10 out of 10, 8 of those relationships ended that way. So blood. It's always been that the woman and I got to a place where we wanted two different things. It was never. I've never broken up with a woman based on us not being able to get along, us not enjoying each other, us, religious beliefs or, professional goals or direction of life, not like that. It's always been just personally, you want this for your life, I want this for my life. That's it. Let's part ways, cool. I want the best for you, I still love you, I want the best for you in life, keep it pushing. Right? So, but a common misconception of, when you hear about older people, I'm 41, when you hear about older people that are single and have been in many relationships, it's the first thought seems to be like, oh, well, how you gonna give me advice about a relationship and you're not in a relationship or your relationships have failed. None of my relationships have failed. I have learned from every last one of them. I have grown from every last one of my relationships. Every last one of them. The only volatile, toxic outcome of a relationship that I've been in was with my child's mother. And I learned later in life that was 100% emotional on, every action and reaction in that situation was emotional and, vindictive and all of that stuff. If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for, people being hurt, their feelings being hurt, her and I were great together the entire time we were together. It wasn't until I decided to leave that she became bitter and hurt, and then she made a vow to herself and to whoever else that she was going to make my life as difficult as she could possibly make it for me, because she felt that I ruined her life and all of her hopes and dreams by creating life with her, creating a life with her, meaning my daughter, and then making the decision to not be with her. So, minus that, everything else, every other relationship that I've had has been a successful relationship. Both of us, both parties have grown from being in a relationship with each other. So when people speak about me giving relationship advice and love advice to other people, and the concern is that I may not have the positive experience in relationships with women enough to give advice to others, let me be the first person to tell you that that's a mistake. Because the approach to relationships and love is the same exact approach that you would take to anything else in life that you are considering long term. And the person or the people or the resources that have the most experience in whatever direction, whatever the field is, the people, the resources, the people that have the most experience in that is where you go to get the information. So how can you go and get relationship advice from a person who's only been in one relationship? Even if that relationship is a marriage. If this man married his high school sweetheart, they've been married for 50 years. How can that man give you relationship advice outside of his one relationship? He could give you advice on how to keep one woman that's just like his wife. But he can't give you general love advice. He can't give you general relationship advice because he's only been in one. If you had to get a mandatory life-changing surgery on your body, operation, on your body, in your body, to save your life, a life-changing operation needed to be done. Are you calling the surgeon who's only performed one operation in his life? Or are you calling the surgeon who's performed 100 operations? It's called the medical practice. It's called a law practice. If I'm on the line fighting for my life in court, do I want the attorney who's never been to trial, or do I want the attorney who's seasoned in trials, in court trials? No, he or she hasn't argued my case before, or a case specific to what my case is, but has experienced practice in courtroom trials. Am I picking the lawyer who has one court trial experience, or the one who has 100? It's called the law of practice. Scientists go into a lab every day, or however often they go. Pretty sure it's probably every day. And they test out theories. They test and keep testing and keep testing in the lab. It's called experiment. That's what scientists do. They experiment until they come up with the right formula. Am I taking chemical advice from that scientist that's in the lab every day, or am I taking my advice from the wannabe scientist who has read a whole bunch of books at home but has never been into a lab in his life? Which one am I listening to? This scientist goes into the lab every day and practices and experiments. Experiments, fails. Experiments, fails. Experiments, fails. Experiments, boom, it works. This guy over here has read 1,000 books on science and how to make things work, but has never experimented, touched anything in his entire life. Who am I taking advice from? It's called experiment. That's what scientists do. Medical practice. Law practice. This is what happens. You get the experience from actively practicing. If you're not actively practicing, how do you get the experience? How can you love everybody if you only ever loved one person? Make that make sense. Why would I want to take relationship advice from somebody who's only been in one relationship? I get those questions, or when I get that type of rebuttal, it's amusing to me. I don't mind having the conversation with people. I don't mind, reiterating these type of facts. But it's comical when I hear it. Every time I do hear it, and it gets me riled up, because I just don't understand how people don't understand that. It's mind blowing to me how all of these intellectual, all of these keepers of information, how they don't understand that concept, how that doesn't make sense to them. People will apply logic to almost everything else in life they can understand. You can give them an example and it'll make sense. Even the most outrageous of things, like money. But when you start to talk about love and relationships, the logic just doesn't register in people's minds. It's crazy to me. Like, everybody wants to be loved. We already know that. Everybody wants to be loved. Everything that you do in life, when you walk outside, everything that you do is with the intent of you being loved by somebody in the future or in the moment. But it would be in the future, because while you're in the moment, if you're not experiencing love right then it's in the future. But so everything that you do, everything, you walk out the house, you get dressed. What are you getting dressed for? Are you getting dressed for yourself, or are you getting dressed for everybody else out here? You do your hair, you wash your face. Are you doing these things for yourself, or are you doing them for other people? Yeah, I'm sure you keep yourself groomed and keep your body healthy, yeah, for yourself. Because you want to live. You want to live long. You want to live healthy, right? You want to have nice skin, nice teeth, nice hair, nice nails, right? Healthy. You're doing that for yourself. Gotcha. Now, when you walk out here into the world, you're making money for what? To pay bills. Okay, gotcha. You got kids, gotta take care of them. Gotcha. Then what? That's it? No, that's not it. You want your kids to love you, so you take care of them. That's why you buy them shit. That's why you take them places, because you want them to love you. You meet people, you date people. Why? Because you want them to love you eventually. You want them to love you. Why do you show up at your friends' events, family functions? Because you want them to love you. That's why. Everybody wants love, period. But then nobody wants to give love. Why do people wait to give love, right? So if you know that you want love, you know that the goal is love. The finish line is love. You meet somebody today that you're interested in, but you hold back your love. You wait to give that person love. I don't know them yet. I just met them. I ain't gonna show too much love. I ain't gonna give them no love until I get to know them. Until I know that they love me. Or I know that this is the one. Then I'll start showing love. That makes sense in most people's minds. But if you know that the goal is love, and you meet somebody today, and you know that the goal is love, why are you waiting to accomplish that goal? Why not get straight to the love? The sooner you get to the finish line, the sooner, that's where the rewards are. So why wait? What are you waiting for? You know you want love. The other person knows they want love. Why are you both waiting to give love to each other? But that makes sense in most people's minds. That's logic in most people's minds. Nah, can't just show love. Can't just give love like that. I can't just, you gotta earn my love. We see generations on top of generations. We see where that shit gets us. We see the effects of not showing love every fucking day. Every fucking day, we see the effect of not showing love to each other. But motherfuckers are still out here not showing love to each other. That makes sense. So let's not take the advice of a person or from people, period, who have more experience in the field than we do. Let's listen to somebody that has only done it once, maybe, or just has an opinion on it. And this is specific to love and relationships. I'm gonna take my relationship advice from somebody who's only been in a relationship once. Because their relationship has lasted 30 years. I'm gonna listen to them about relationships. If your goal is to accomplish financial wealth, are you taking your advice from a person who made $1 million one time? Or are you going to listen to a person who's made $1 million 100 times? And I use the million as an example just because I know that people like the way that that sounds. But it goes, the question applies with any number. It could be any number. 50,000, 100,000. Are you going to take your financial advice from somebody who made $50,000 once? Or are you going to take your financial advice from somebody who made $50,000 1,000 times. It's all the same approach. Love, sex, money, materials, industry, health, every approach in life is approached the same exact way. The more experience you get in something, the better you get at it. As long as your goal is to get better at it. Some people just go through shit and they don't get better at nothing and they just keep on, getting hit with the bat. But that's not the majority. The majority of us, the more we practice something, the better we get at it. Love and sex are no different. It's the same approach, the same guidelines. The more I love, the better I get at loving. If I'm not giving love or getting love, how will I know how to give or receive love if I'm not doing it? Just sitting around waiting for somebody else to come give it to me so that I can give it back. That approach doesn't work for anything in life. There is not one thing in this life that exists that works by you waiting to get it and then reciprocating. Nothing works that way. Nothing has been successful with that approach. Love, relationships are no different. It's the same exact formula. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more people you love, the better you get at loving. The more people you show love to, the more you'll be able to understand how to show love and how to receive love. If you're a person sitting around waiting for other people or the world to love you, you will never know how to receive it. That's not how life works. The more you give love, the more you show love, the better you become at giving and receiving love. The more you know about love. That don't chase love shit, that don't go looking for love, love will find you. Good luck. Good luck. Let me know how that works out for you. It might work one time. And that one time might be all the love that you need. And if that's the case, salute to you. But I can tell you from experience that one piece of love is not what most people are not satisfied with that. Are not satisfied with that one piece of love. They want a whole lot of love. That's why they do what they do. That's why they make themselves public. That's why they chase money so much. That's why they want to be in this place and that place and that place and that place and that front row at this, front row at that, backstage at this, backstage at that, red carpet over there, red carpet over there, on the front of this magazine, on the front of that, snapping pictures for them, snapping pictures for that. That's why people are doing that. Because people want more than one piece of love. That's the majority. So when you ask me, or when the question, when the question is presented to me, what qualifies me to be the love coach? That's my answer. Because I've experimented. I've practiced. And I've experimented again. I tried another one. And from each case that I tried, each project that I experimented with, each patient that I have practiced on, I have stored that information up here and in here. It can't be reversed. It's there and there. I know the formula for giving love and receiving love. Because my heart is always open to love. That's any color, any shape, any size, any background. The heart is open to love, period. That's what qualifies me to be the love coach. If your heart's not open to love all the way across the board, how can you tell or show anybody else how to love? Most people do not get to experience unconditional love in their life. Even with your children. Once your children become old enough and they have the knowledge to think for themselves in life, your parental relationships are going to become conditional love relationships. Most people do not get to experience full-time unconditional love in their life. That's why most people don't know how to receive unconditional love. When somebody's offering it to them, it seems like it's too good to be true. That's common. Or it seems like manipulation or seduction. You gotta want something else. What are you trying to get out of me? Why are you so kind to me? What did I ever do to deserve this? Most people don't know how to receive unconditional love. They ain't never seen it before. That's what makes me qualified to be the love coach. Because I'm out here giving unconditional love to everybody. All I'm doing is loving people the way I want to be loved. From day one. If I meet you today, I'm showing you the love today that I want for my life. And everybody that I love. I'm showing you the same exact love. I meet you today, day one. I'm showing you the same love that I give that person over there that I've loved for 20 years. I'm giving you the same love. I'm out here giving unconditional love. Come get you some. That's what qualifies me. And the reason that I know how to give unconditional love is because I've had the experience. I've had 20 plus romantic relationships. And I'm talking committed relationships. More than 20 of them. Where I was committed to that woman, loved that woman with all of my being from start to finish. From all walks of life. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, tall, skinny, fat, thick, slim thick. Everything. I've had everything. Almost everything. Religious, atheist, spiritual, everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything. Committed relationships, intimate, loving relationships where we get into each other's lives, our families, we share stuff, kids, culture, everything that is necessary to be in love. I've done the experience. All different personality types. Extroverts, introverts, demisexuals, sapiosexuals, bisexuals. Everything. That's what qualifies me to be the love coach. I've got the experience, the practice. I can communicate with anyone, anywhere, at any time in this life, on this planet. I can walk into any room and accomplish my goals. Why? Because I'm showing love from the door. That's what qualifies me to be the love coach. And that's just in romantic relationships. Just human relationships, the same thing. I can walk in any door, any room, any place, any building, any environment in the world and get along with any and everybody. I've never had a problem, nowhere. The only problems I've ever had was with people